So I just released my episode 10 spoiler review for Dexter Original Sin, the finale. It's a long video, but there is a lot to break down in that finale, so please feel free to go check out that video. And now this is going to be my overall thoughts, first impressions on season 1 of Dexter Original Sin. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, so if you have not seen Dexter Original Sin, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I'm going to try and be as bland as I can, as well as trying to explain it the best I can. So, we'll see how we go. This review could either be very successful or could end in a complete disaster where I say too little. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. So, jumping right into Dexter Original Sin Season 1, I'll start off by giving you a quick, brief summary on what the show is about. So, hence the title of the show, Original Sin. This is the origin of Dexter Morgan, and you're seeing him discover the serial killer side of him, and you're seeing him discover and fight these urges that he has to kill while being a functioning member in society, while trying to find his place in the police department. And really, that's all I can really say, about this show. So, jumping right into the positives and negatives, as always, I'm going to start off with the positives and go to the negatives. So the biggest positive of this show is Patrick Gibson. The cat is out of the bag now. This guy is great as Dexter Morgan. He has a very likable on-screen presence. His line delivery is really good. He sold the emotion and the personality of Dexter really well. Seeing how Dexter functions around, a group of people and in public, as well as his police buddies, to this much more darker side of the character that is behind closed doors that the public doesn't know about, and how he balances, I guess, the good from the evil. I really like that, and he was intimidating when he needed to be intimidating. The facial expressions and even some of the stuff that he actually does with his eyes. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is intentional, but that shit was fucking scary. Like when he has, some of his victims, taped to the table and he's just looking down at them. I don't know, like there's this very kind of like empty, looking person, and just like he sells every aspect of this character really well. And I'm gonna be honest, if I saw Dexter Morgan, on the street, or Patrick Gibson, this is a guy, I would love to grab a beer with. Let alone I'd probably get killed a few hours later. Like, he is such a nice guy when he is, I guess, a functioning member of society. So he is great in the show, and he continues to just go far and beyond as the show progresses. And even if you don't like Original Sin, depending what the overall feelings on this show is, I think this is one thing that you cannot take away, that Patrick Gibson nails it. Now, moving on to the next positive, which I'm going to try and be as bland as I can at this point, but is Dexter discovering his kill method. And you're probably thinking that I'm going to slip up here, but all I can really say about his killing methods is it's a lot of trial and error. And seeing him kind of progress, going from his first victim to his last victim in the finale, I really dug that, and seeing just how his methods do develop and do kind of get better, and seeing what didn't work last time and improving it, upon his newest victim. There's an episode where something happens and it doesn't exactly go the way Dexter thinks, and that scene, I really liked. It has to do with, it's in the earlier episodes. It has to do with a certain character getting out of reach of Dexter, without going into specifics. And so, I really liked, seeing that side of him, and seeing kind of like how he hides the bodies, and just like everything to do with like trying to protect his identity, trying to protect his job. Really dug all that. And then third positive is I really dug the supporting cast in this. We have Harry and Deb, which from what I've heard are integral characters in the mainline show. Deb I really liked in the show. Her storyline not so much, but we'll get into that in just a minute. Harry I really liked his relationship and chemistry with Dexter. I really liked, like, there was like a true father-son bond there, and like they would jump off each other's dialogue really well. And yeah, that was one of the best parts of the earlier portion of the season. And this, I guess, kind of falls into the same point, is just like the family dynamic and relationship, and seeing kind of how that progresses throughout the show, where in the first, 4 to 6 episodes, you're seeing, I guess, a different side of Dexter's family, where Harry and Dexter have a close relationship, and then Deb is on the sideline. Like, she's not really involved in any of the family activities or the family conversations. And so, I really liked kind of seeing that aspect, and then, also kind of hiding this urge that Dexter has, from Deb. I really like that. And then seeing how it progresses, and you see throughout the show, like, these moments aren't in the show a whole lot, but there's moments between Dexter and Deb, and it actually feels like a brother sister moment. Like, there's like the banter's there, that love is there. Like, those moments, there's really only a handful of them, but when they were there, they worked really well. And then kind of seeing them kind of work better as a family, by the end of the show, and seeing kind of where it ends off on this very kind of bittersweet moment, really dug that. I really liked all of, I guess, Dexter's police buddies, still trying to learn everybody's name here, but you have Sarah Michelle Gellar in the cast as, I guess, as the head of the department, and she's really good. She has some great moments throughout the show. It's Sarah Michelle Gellar. What's there not to love just in that casting alone? But I thought her character was really good. There's an Asian male officer here that Dexter has a great relationship with, and I thought they had some great conversations, and there's especially in the first like 3 to 4 episodes, there's some really great moments with the police team. So all of those moments I really liked. another aspect is kind of is the eye that Dexter has for crime scenes and and how he solves them. I thought that was really cool. How he almost kind of reenacts them just from the rhythm and the pattern of the blood. I really love that shit. I thought that was great, and I thought him kind of investigating these crime scenes. Um, you know, I thought was really good for his character, and to say, yeah, this is a dream job for him. So, um, yeah, seeing I guess how good he is at his job, even as an intern, is is shocking to me. Like the fact that they did not promote him to full time. By episode 3, I was shocked. Like if I saw someone with that type of skills and that type of I would be like, can we offer you a full-time position here? Like this is the type of guy we need. So, I really like that. Um, all performances are great. Um, let's see, as far as the flashbacks between Harry and Dexter's mum, I didn't really see where they were going. It's an interesting story. Even if it doesn't work with the conclusion of the show, I thought that storyline was very intriguing. And I thought, yeah, that they did a lot with it. The fact that you have an officer undercover, investigating, a mafia gang and kind of working with them. Yeah, there was some great suspense. There was some great story, and then seeing the earlier days with Harry and young Dexter and his brother, seeing that banter. um you know I really liked all that. The production value here and the cinematography, it is spot on. They have a really cool, I guess, color palette that they put over the flashbacks, which I thought worked really well. The direction. I'm not sure if this was done by one consistent director, or if it's a different director each episode. Um, but each episode felt very consistent. It jumped off, you could watch episode 1 and then jump right into episode 2, and it would feel like just one great continuation. If you binge watch this, you wouldn't see any difference between the visuals and the overall stylization of the show. And then I think that's about it for the positives. Jumping in to the negatives, I want to start off with a couple of mixed negatives here. Deb's relationship with her best friend. I really liked that at first. It was a very strong relationship in the first 3 episodes. I really liked it. There was some, there was some great, of course, typical, high school drama. So, I thought that worked really well. And you have her best friend who's who's really into Dexter, and Dexter's kind of this. He's not someone who picks up social cues particularly well, and so seeing that side of him, I really liked. But putting that aside, the whole, I guess, sexual side of Dexter's character, I really liked how that was somewhat explored in here. But yeah, just focusing on the Deb and her best friend. Wow, I thought it worked for the first 4 episodes, and then it just it never comes back. There's a few moments here and there, but if that's your best friend, like I would be trying really hard, like, to get her back. And the fact that they're just kind of like, the fact that they're like, oh yeah, fuck you too, bitch. Like, to each other, I was like, yeah, they're gonna make up later on. And then, episodes went by and I was like, yeah, nothing's happening. And then they do something in the finale with that, which I don't know how I feel about it. Like, man, I felt like it was a little too late, and just that whole storyline um didn't work for me. Like, it had moments that worked really well, other moments, not so much. Um and then with the Harry and Dexter's wife, storyline here, once we jump back into present day, um, I didn't really see a point on why that was there. Like, it does give kind of context to like certain story aspects, but I thought just, you know, and it does kind of explain a little bit of like Dexter's origin, kind of, sort of. So yeah, that's, I guess, another mixed negative there. Is like, as a whole, and as far as like what it did for the series, I know that's not really something I'm gonna take away. And now let's see what else is in here. This I kind of talked about more in detail in my spoiler review for episode 10, but the killer reveal um, was majorly disappointing in here. Like, I felt like there was so much more that they could have kind of dived into. There, like, as far as an explanation and just kind of context to certain crimes and why these characters, and just like there is an explanation, but yeah, yeah, you know, the reveal was surprising. But then saying that as well, they give it away like a midpoint in the season, which, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it would have been more shocking if we actually found out in the final episode. But that's not necessarily like a negative there. It's just, yeah, I don't know, another, I guess, mixed aspect there. So yeah, the reveal I thought was really weak as far as like the motivation and kind of reasoning, and just it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Um, and then really just the finale as a whole. Like, I don't want to kind of talk about this for too long, but there's certain storylines that are very underdeveloped and kind of come out of nowhere with very little context as like this shock moment. And yeah, those moments in the final episode did not work for me. But really, as a whole, this show really exceeded my expectations, and I think I was really, for the most part, left happy with my overall season experience. Minus that finale, but that's like one episode out of 9 episodes. Like, that's a very small percentage there. And so, as a whole, I really enjoyed this. I had fun watching it week to week. It kept me in suspense. The cliffhangers going from, week to week, worked really well. It got me thinking, it got me excited for something new each week. And, and I think if the show does that, that's that's a positive all on its own. So yeah, all of the cliffhangers, really work. I thought each episode ended, right at the right moment. Some episodes were stronger than others, but as a whole, I guess those slower episodes, while the pacing doesn't feel as strong, and it's not as engaging, they're still integral episodes to this season. But yeah, there's I think a lot to take away from this, as like a horror fan and as a Dexter fan. I think there's a lot of stuff that will, I think that will please people in here. If you're a newcomer to Dexter like me, I think there is a lot to enjoy in here. So it's streaming on Disney Plus. Where, bloody hell, the day Dexter streams on Disney Plus, my God, that's something I thought I'd never say. Paramount Plus, you know, yeah, it's streaming on Paramount Plus. Yeah, I just lost my train of thought there, but yeah, it's streaming on Paramount Plus. Highly recommend you go check out and stream season 1 of Dexter Original Sin, and I'm looking forward to watching the main line series of Dexter. So really looking forward to that. And I cannot speak tonight. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to review each season of Dexter as I watch it. And, let me know kind of where Dexter Original Sin is on your ranking of Dexter seasons. Is it one of the better ones? Is it one of the worst ones? Is this your worst? Let me know all that down in the comment section down below, guys. So, anyways, guys, wherever you are in the world, whether it's day, evening, or night, I wish you all the best. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.